In my previous video, I covered how to find a laptop to get into Linux. Now that you have a laptop, you need to install Linux on it. To do that, we need to create a bootable USB drive. That may sound intimidating, but I promise you it's not that bad. This is B from Tay Talk Tech, and today I'm going to show you how to create a Linux install USB using Windows, so stick with me. I've got a favor to ask. If you like this type of video and want to see more content like it, make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell button for notifications. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you like it. Let me know what you liked, didn't like, or if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or emotional outbursts down in the comment section below. And lastly, make sure you stick around all the way to the end to get the most out of this video. Let's do this thing. All right, so we're going to need a few tools before we go ahead and actually be able to make this bootable USB happen. Now, the very first thing that you're going to need is a USB drive. Ideally, you're going to want one that's anywhere from 8, 16, 32, or more gigabytes in size, just to make sure that everything goes smoothly with the installation. You're going to need an application called Rufus, as well as a distribution ISO file. Now, Rufus is just an application that's going to allow us to flash the ISO image onto the USB, so then we can go ahead and do the install on our laptop. Now, the first thing that we're going to need to do is, let me go ahead and shrink my face here, is we're going to need to go to the Rufus website, which is just rufus.ie. I'll go ahead and put this down in the comment section below. And here we are on a remote desktop session in a Windows machine. Now, you'll access it as you see here. And what you'll do is you'll scroll all the way down here to the download section. And then what we're going to do is we're going to want to download the portable version, just so you don't have to install it or anything like that. And you can just run it as needed. You can go ahead and download the standard version if you want, but the portable one's the one that I prefer. So, all right, now let's go ahead and download the next thing. Now, the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need an ISO file. Now, the distribution I'm going to be showing you, and the one that I recommend, is Kubuntu. You can use Ubuntu, but I always run into issues with it for some reason. That's why I recommend Kubuntu. I think it might have to do with Ubuntu's implementation of the GNOME desktop. I just don't know why. I have problems with Windows. I have problems with different applications on there, and just it's always one thing or another, regardless of the system that I'm on. So the one that I've had the least amount of problems with is going to be Kubuntu. And you don't let my opinion on and my experience with Ubuntu deter you from using it, because it is a good distribution. It's just it's been buggy for when I have tried to use it for the purpose that I've tried to use it. And mine are not always the same use case. It's just simply putting it on a laptop, desktop, or whatever. And Bob was my uncle, but it's it's still a good distribution. Basically what Kubuntu is, it is Ubuntu with the KDE desktop environment. Using this desktop environment can be much easier coming from Windows than Ubuntu's default GNOME desktop environment. So now the one that we're going to be using is the long-term support version, LTS. Now, what you'll do is you'll make sure, if you go to the kubuntu.org website, you'll go to downloads, and then you'll scroll down. You can see here that this is the most recent version. This is the standard version, and we want to go down here to the 22.04.2 LTS. And what you'll do is you'll just go ahead and hit 64-bit download. I've already downloaded it just to save us some time in doing that part of the process. Now, what we need to do now is we're going to go ahead and minimize this. We're going to go to our downloads or wherever you saved it for Rufus. We're going to open it up. It's going to ask us for the permissions. And we do not need it to search for updates. All right, so this is pretty easy. Now, make sure you have the correct drive selected. We're going to use this 32 gigabyte flash drive. And then what you'll need to do here is you'll go down to select. And then you're going to go ahead and select your ISO image. All right, and then everything should be good the way that it is. So go ahead and hit start. Leave that as it is. Okay. And give it just a minute here to go ahead and initialize. Just doing some checks and things like that, and it's going to give you the warning that everything will be erased. It's fine. Now we hit OK. All right, perfect. So now it's going to go through the process of actually writing the ISO image to the USB drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, and we'll return once the process has finished. All right, and it is finished, and we can see that down here it says ready, so we know that everything is good to go with this USB. But if you wanted to go ahead and check, as you can see over here in In Windows in the file manager, it says Kubuntu, and we've got it right there. So now it's ready to go ahead and install in our Linux laptop. That wasn't that bad, was it? Make sure you check out the other videos in my Get into Linux series. If you're caught up, check out this other video instead. Remember, mistakes make you better, so keep making them. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have the greatest of days.